Inner Quest explores various pathways through which you can connect with the infinite wisdom of the universe and apply it to personal, professional, and spiritual growth. This program, featuring accomplished practitioners, educators, and authors, is provided by Infinity Foundation, an innovative center for holistic studies and research. We invite you to share this journey with us.
Hello, welcome to Inner Quest. My name is Jay Stone, your host for today, and our guest is Stephanie Goldman Meis. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Meis.
Meis, okay, thank you for correcting me.
No problem.
Stephanie is a Reiki master teacher and a violinist, and she's going to play for us real soon. She uses energy healing with music and psychotherapy to help people transform. Stephanie is opening a school to train energy healers at the Infinity Foundation, which is the sponsor of this show. Stephanie has been teaching for 40 years and is a passionate advocate for practical, everyday spirituality. Stephanie, you want to start us off with a song or two? Actually, I think before the show you said you were going to play my energy?
Yes, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
So I'm going to settle into feeling your energy, and then it just seems to come out of the violin.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about your experience of playing my energy or your patients' or students' energy?
My experience is really getting out of the way, and that's what you do when you do energy healing. It's where I focus in on you and what's going on. I do this also with my clients, and I let myself be like a tube that channels where you're coming from.
Okay, and do you make recordings for your clients so they can listen to at home?
You know, that's a great idea.
Oh, we can talk after the show.
I don't do that.
I'm real good with technology.
Cool.
So,
I'm not.
Okay. Would you like to set your violin down and get comfortable?
Yes.
Okay. And you, before the show, you had a pair of prayer beads on. You're welcome to.
Oh, yes.
Because I think they were special. For you, a gift from your daughter.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Good vibration.
Yes. Okay. So why don't you tell our audience? Well, you've got like 40 years of energy healing experience.
25 years of energy and 40 years of playing violin.
Okay. And, so you're a good person to define energy and energy healing.
Energy healing is basically the healing that goes on no matter what it is you're being healed from. If your doctor puts your broken leg in a cast, something happens inside with your leg, inside the cast, and that is the underpinning of who you are, and it is the energy. Everything actually is energy, Jay.
Mm-hmm. And so when energy healing is specifically focusing on the energetic or ethereal body?
It is. What it's looking for when we do energy healing, we're looking for the places where the energy is blocked. Because when there's pain or when there's any kind of an obstacle in your life, or even if the pain is psychic, mental pain, physical,
psychic energy,
emotional pain, it means something isn't flowing the way you're meant to flow. And so it's kind of like a trail guide, a trailhead going, hey, look over here, not making enough money. Whoa, what's that about? Let's examine it.
Okay. Now, you talked about energy being blocked. Is it ever possible to have like too much energy? Like a child with like ADHD or even an adult with ADHD?
Actually, I think when there is an abundance of energy, for example, if I have a client that comes in that talks too much, too fast, I know something's wrong with their throat chakra. And that is related to various issues such as will, such as the ability throughout their lives to express themselves. If there's too much energy and we're not balanced, something's off and we need to examine deeper.
Okay. And so what are the techniques that you teach your students and your clients to balance energy?
Right, there are so many techniques. As a matter of fact, I'll be teaching 24 different classes at the Infinity Foundation. It'll be about a 2-year sequence of classes. But the techniques are, for example, I could just, if something was hurting you, let's say you had a headache, I would know that you had too much congested energy. I could connect with your energy field and spin your energy center, also known as a chakra, just by taking my intention through my hand and moving it in about a 5 or 6 inch clockwise circle. And I would do that for 7 different layers of your energy field.
7 layers, is that corresponding to the different chakras in the body, or they you know, outside of the body?
They are outside of the body, and they also, each of those layers has layers. It's kind of a complicated thing. But yes, 7 layers. The 7 layers are what you would think. Physical, most close to us. Emotional is the next dense layer. Mental is the next. Spiritual is the next. Then there's a layer that's very cool to think about called the etheric template, which is all that you were meant to be before you came into a body, came in as a blueprint. And this is cool because it is replicated in your feet, your hands, and your ears. And so one of the courses that we teach is called zones. And it's how to work our ears, our hands, and our feet in a massage that correspond to basically the whole person and their whole body.
Now, is this a self-massage, or is this...
Could be. You could do it. I massage my feet every night before I go to bed. And then the next 2 layers are called celestial and etheric. Celestial is that which you were meant to be basically in an angelic floating form before you ever came into a body. And etheric is similar to the word in Hebrew, keter, which is the source. And we are all of us source.
Now, is it possible to experience an illness or blockage of energy on 1 or 2 levels and not the other 5?
Absolutely. It's basically what you're doing. It's kind of like a grid work where you're identifying where is the problem really originating from. Is it a spiritual issue? Sometimes people come to Earth and they don't really want to be here, but they have work to do. So you might find that the problem is in their celestial layer. And it's not so much in their physical, but it does cause them earthly problems. And the reason for that, as I said before, is so that they'll know how to work on it. If you don't have a problem, you don't stop what you're doing and examine further.
So what inspired you to become an energy healer?
Desperation. When I was younger, I was very seriously depressed, and I could not figure it out, and I couldn't take meds. And I went to 1 million doctors.
What, was there? You just had an adverse reaction to the meds?
Yeah, I felt horrible when I took them. You know, like way too nervous or way too sensitive or sick to my stomach or blotchy skin or you name it.
Yeah, there's always side effects.
Yeah, I mean, I want to make it really clear, I am in no way opposed to medication.
Yeah.
I think it's a marvelous tool. I think doctors and healers should work together. I think doctors cannot be replaced by healers. But what happened to me was I was a professional violinist doing my thing, married, quote unquote, happy, 2 kids, a lot of money, everything was cool. I was depressed. Finally, what happened was just the way nature provides. I had to play a concert in New York, I think. I was in a professional string quartet, and my son was a baby, and I was walking around the house practicing with him on my back. And my neck did something really weird, and I started to be in terrible pain. And a friend of mine said, you know, you should check out this healer. So I went to the healer, and I said, help me. I got to play a concert. I got to get out of here. And she said, oh, okay. 45 minutes later, neck was perfectly fine.
What kind of healer was she?
She turned out to be my teacher later. She was a student of Barbara Brennan. She did a lot of different kinds of energy work, and she was also a social worker. So we did some counseling stuff. There was a lot of work to do. There was a lot of work, and it was kind of like mining, you know, getting deeper and deeper and deeper and getting better and better.
And earlier you said like that issues of the neck often involve issues of the will?
Can be. It is known as a will center. Different people talk about it differently. And when you think about will, or I'll say this is what I think about will, there's a spark within us that wants us to move in a certain direction and desires it. When that gets too negated, we get shut down. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is we don't have a voice to command what we want. You know, like, hey, you know, I'd like some fresher tomatoes than that when I'm at the store. Or would you please help me with, you know, I don't know, help me make the bed or something.
Or treat me like a human being.
Or treat me like a human being.
Respect.
Right. And if you don't have that activation of your will, which happens to a lot of people, they get shut down because the rules when they are growing up say, don't show your will. I will punish you if you show your will, or you'll die if you show your will, or, you know, those kind of childhood messages.
Yeah, or, you know, don't become yourself, or follow your intuition. Become the person I want you to become.
Exactly.
Create the false self. And but earlier you said, you know, that you support the use of drugs. I interviewed neuropsychiatrist Dr. Daniel Amen, and I love what he says. He says skills, not pills. And of course, you know, with someone with severe depression or anxiety, he'll prescribe antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication, but he also has the patients learn skills. And when I looked over your material, that's what I see you teaching. I mean, your brochure of your class at Infinity, I mean, is you know, acupressure, color therapy, sound therapy, essential oils, crystals. It's you know, it's about teaching, giving people skills.
And giving them an array of skills, because everyone that graduates from the school or that attends the school, you don't have to attend all of the classes, you don't have to get a certificate even though you have that choice. Everyone has their own way of doing healing, and I'm going to honor that. That's really important. It's sort of like a play within a play, where I want the tenor of the school to be loving and allowing as the students go through it, and then that becomes the model for how they are with their clients, which is basically you have to allow your clients to be themselves.
Yes, and I'm familiar from interviewing massage therapists. They say when you give a massage, you get a massage. Do you find that true with energy healing?
Totally. As a matter of fact, if you think about it, the way Reiki works, the way I understand it, it comes through me. My hands get really, really hot. I get high. I get so happy and high. I love working on my clients because I get it first.
And do you find like you go into a meditation?
Sometimes. I mean, what is the most striking is if someone comes to me who has recently lost a husband or a father or mother, very often they start coming through my body, and it is the most loving, amazing feeling. I start to cry. Mm-hmm. The meditation part is that there's this whole process going on that my mind has nothing to do with. It's sort of like playing your energy back to you. I just try to stay out of the way. Yeah,
and I'll say this about crying. There is some societal rejection of it, where it's healthy. I mean, we can
really
cry
healthy.
when we're happy.
Oh,
you know, a happy cry, or sad when a person cries. They're releasing something.
And it's the heart. The tears are connected to the heart. I was told in healing school that it is the dissolution, the dissolving of the layers of the heart.
And you, well, after a good cry, I mean, you feel better.
Oh yeah, the endorphins come. And
yeah.
Wonderful.
So why did you create a school to train others in energy healing?
A few reasons. One is I'm turning 60 this year.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. And
by the way, you have an energy of someone in their 20s.
Oh, thank you.
So proof of your work.
Oh, I love it. And so what I do for every birthday, and it gets more important as I get older.
You and Jack LaLanne.
I do something important. You know, one birthday I koshered my kitchen. I do different things, take a trip, and I know that it's kind of like a gift to myself. This is partially a gift to myself, but it is also because I became a psychotherapist 10 years ago. I was an energy healer before I was a psychotherapist, but I felt that I needed to be responsible and really know what I was doing in that psychotherapy department. So I got that degree. And what I've found is people who are meant to do energy healing usually have loads of obstacles in their lives. They have money troubles, they have relationship troubles, some of them have psychiatric diagnoses. And the only thing that makes them feel great and live well is to become energy healers.
And so they're working on their energy all day long at the same time they're helping other people.
And these are people who have a lot of energy to give, and if you have a lot of energy to give and you don't use it, you will feel horrible.
Well,
and so will your life be horrible.
I want to pay you a compliment. You know, you mentioned that you had depression when you started, but usually people with depression, they have low energy and low motivation.
So true.
You don't strike me like that at all.
I'm not now. It's been about 15 years.
You probably have more energy today than you did 10 or 15 years ago.
And you know, it's so great, Jay, because it's sort of like, as I get older, life gets really better. So it's really fun. I don't look back to those years in my 20s. My kids are in their 20s. And I see how hard life is in your 20s. And I say to them, oh, guys, I feel for you. I would never want to go back and redo that stuff.
Well, your kids must be, well, special because they had you as a mother who's open to all these different modalities.
I'm going to float right out of here.
Yeah. Well, do your children practice like Reiki or energy work?
Actually, it's interesting. My son is into financial world. He works on Wall Street in New York. Mm-hmm. But I talk all the time to him about energy. I tell him money is energy.
Yeah, yeah.
It is energy. And my daughter, who's in advertising, has just become a yoga teacher. And I'm so proud of her. And she gave me these because now she has almost identical necklace of the same. And we are really starting to share some of the things that I've always done, but now she's starting to get it. She had a class on the chakras, part of her yoga training. She said, Mom, I already knew this stuff. I was like, yes.
Is she teaching in Chicago?
She's teaching in Chicago, and if anybody's listening who wants to help her, she's planning to move to Seattle, Washington, where Core Power Yoga that she teaches for has branches out there.
Okay.
So she's about to...
So have you taken one of her classes yet?
Actually, she helped me. I have some upper body strength issues where I need to get stronger, and she created a sequence for me, and I love it.
Oh, that's great.
It's really fun.
That's great. Now, earlier you mentioned about massaging your feet.
Yeah.
And I would consider that self-care.
Yes.
And is it important for energies to care for him or herself? And can you mention some of the self-care exercises
I think,
you do and that you're going to teach?
The most important thing that I would recommend to anybody who ever works on another person is to not take on their energy, the other person's energy. And the way I was taught to do that is to following every single client. It does make my hands dry. I wash my hands in just clear water, sometimes with soap, and I visualize green and white light, cleansing light, because green is a very cleansing color, swirling around me like rapids, and I just wash away anybody else's energy. That's the most important. The other is to seek and strive for balance, so that you know, if you're going to be dieting, you don't overdo it. You try to have a regular, in Ayurveda, which is something I very much believe in, Indian medicine, you try to have a regular sleep time, wake time, eating time. I don't always succeed, but I noticed that the body works so much better when you treat it respectfully.
Well, interesting that we live in a technological society, so there's lots of computer time in front of computers and TV, and and that's putting out energy. And now we're going to have these big electronic billboards that are going to bombard us. What can you say about balancing, the electrical energy? Do we just sit in a room where there's nothing electrical in there?
It's a wonderful question. I think if we choose to turn off screens, we're ahead of the game. For our kids, and I did this with my kids, to limit how much TV they watch. My kids had an hour a day. That was it, except maybe on the weekends and they watch a movie.
And then they can see, you know, how they feel after when they're not watching TV.
Yes, right. Well, I don't think kids will ever do that. I don't think kids are that self-reflective. But you know, if they were that insightful, that would be great. The other thing is just to draw a limit. There's a wonderful neurologist who's also an Ayurvedic doctor in Highland Park, Tripti Gokani.
Oh, I interviewed her about 2 months ago.
She's fantastic.
Yes.
And she says, you know, an
Very
hour
wise.
before bed, no computer screen, no TV, no telephones.
Yeah.
And I try to do that. I think that's really very helpful for restful sleep.
What I love about Tripti is she practices what she
Oh,
preaches.
she sure does.
Lots of integrity.
She glows it.
Yes.
Meditation, and we're going to have one of our classes will be on meditation, just so that everybody has the skill. Meditation is like stepping outside of the noisy lane.
Yeah. You know, you were talking about how you wash your hands. I took a class of either pranic healing or was it healing touch? Where you don't really touch the person.
Right.
But we were taught to have a bowl of water and just put the energy in.
I've seen that.
And some people's bowl would actually turn black, you know, and they weren't touching the water.
That's
or
pretty
putting their hands in.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nice. It's always nice when you get some kind of a physical representation that shows you what's been going on spiritually. I think the one thing, this is something else that we work on in the school that's very difficult with a spiritual path. You know, we all vary. And there are times where we feel extremely clear spiritually, and there are times where we're kind of low and we don't get it. So there you are with your bowl of water and the black stuff. It's like, wow, look, for my 3D self. And we also are going to teach dimensions in the class. Look at that. There really is junk in that water.
Well, and we'll see, I'd like your opinion, but earlier you talked about source, and when we feel like we're not connected spiritually, is it because we've lost the connection to source?
Lost the connection? I don't think you can do anything to lose the connection to source.
Or not realize there is always a connection to source.
I see it more like either having a paper bag over our heads, where the source is there going, hello, I'm here. And we're like, oh man, I'm so struggleful, I'm so worried that I think I'll just focus on my negative obsessions, you know. Or that we have so many blockages from either early trauma or poor choices that make us so busy mentally. I think at any time we can get back to source. It's there.
Yeah, through meditation or an energy practice that...
Mostly through intention.
Yes.
It really changes things. If you just, some things, when you just say, you know what, I want this meeting to go well, okay? And then we go on to
ask and you shall receive.
Oh, it's so true.
Now, how long do you think it takes to become an energy healer?
A lifetime. I think with this 2-year program, I think you could be well launched. And I think from there you will develop your own skills and expertise. It has to be each person's signature style, like your signature that I played on the violin. If you ever opened an energy practice, and everyone in this room and everyone who's listening could do this, you would be using the psychic skills that you've been born with, and then you would personalize it. And it would be, I love working with crystals. I have a client who loves crystals and another one who really grooves with oils and creates her own organic oils, and they're fabulous. But these are all energy tools, and it's just so cool to see them. Everybody gets their own flavor.
Well, and noticing parents exposing their young children to like oils and aromatherapy,
Boy,
Reiki. Yeah, well, Infinity Infinity sponsors a children's natural health fair.
I know,
each
wonderful.
year. So, all right. Well, how about I ask you about some of these different energy techniques? How about removing entities?
That's a very good choice for a colorful show. An entity is a being, not in a body, who has glommed on to another person. So it only happens with very low negative vibration. Let's say a person, I won't say you because I don't want to even push that energy over your way, but let's say a person goes through a very long stint where they are in despair. They are a good host for someone who may have died, who left their body and just was sort of lost in the astral plane, which is a place where souls can be lost. And they're in despair, and they are just kind of wandering around Earth, and they just can't seem to move up to the light the way they need to. I'm making this sound very 3D, but it's not. So what they would do is this entity would find a lovely, despairing person, usually a very sensitive person, and lodge in their body. Those people will come to me and say, I am just dragging around this weight. I don't know what this is. I'm depressed. I'm lethargic. I can't seem to ever find my boyfriend, and I really want a boyfriend, and I just can't. And as we do work that corresponds to their needs, sometimes there'll be something in there, and I say, you know, when you feel this yearning, when you feel this pain, where is it in your body? They go, well, it's my whole chest or whatever. And then I say, is it you? Is it your energy? And they go, you know, it's not. It's not me. Mm-hmm. We stop questioning it. We stop seeking higher truth from it. We just say, okay, you got to go. And very lovingly, we lift it out. Usually I have to clap my hands to break because there will be energy bonds. And I whisk it out of the body until I have a sense that it's gone. And
a person will actually feel the release, feel lighter.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I've heard of spirit releasement. Is that spirit releasement?
Yeah, it's kind of like an exorcism.
Now,
but very gentle.
Have you ever
experienced
entities glomming onto you?
Actually, I've had my own share. Yeah, because I had a lot of dark energy when I was younger, and I did take on.
And that would not occur now because you're more, because of your intention and because of your level of awareness?
I would love to think that. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, boy, life on Earth is hard a lot of the time. Things happen. I don't know why.
Now, you talk about an entity attaching to a body. What about entity in a house or a room?
Oh, yeah. I have cleared lots of houses, and I've cleared car engines. There have been cars that people bring to me that have had repeated accidents. I've cleared cars. I had a friend once who had an apartment house, could not rent this apartment. I cleared it. She rented it.
Yeah.
And I go there with my pendulum, and, well, actually, I hope I don't. I'll just
well, we've just got about a minute, so
okay.
you have to be quick.
Okay. If I go there and there's an entity, I will keep seeing the pendulum blocked. This is blocked side to side, and this is open. And I talk to them, and I clear them out.
Now, I know people that would use the pendulum to determine the sex of an unborn child.
Right. Yeah, you could probably do that. I think I've done that with some of my clients.
Now, what else would you use the pendulum? You teach the students how to use pendulum in class? So what else could you use the pendulum to identify problems in the body where the energy is blocked?
Yes, you're measuring to see if the chakras are open. And if they're not spinning, if they're side to side, that's where your work is.
I'm sorry, Stephanie, I got to cut you there.
No problem.
For more information about Stephanie, Infinity Foundation, stay tuned to the credits at the end. Until next time, wish you good health, good spirits, and good fortune.
Thank you
so much.
so much. It was a pleasure.
Mine too.
Great.
For more information about this show, our guests, Infinity Foundation, or any of our other programs, please visit our website, infinityfoundation.org, or call us at 847-831-8828.